What's in a name? Everything. The power of a name has long been immortalized in prose, poetry, and history. It is your face to the world, your ambassador of quality that reflects your ideals and aspirations. Thompson's, a name, a family, a tradition of excellence. So it is with Thompson's Toyota, where our professional and courteous staff are eager to help you drive home your dream vehicle from the largest selection of new and used Toyota cars and trucks at the best prices. And if your vehicle needs service, our Toyota factory-trained and certified service technicians have the skill and expertise to do the job right and do it right the first time. Thompson's Toyota, where you'll always be treated like family.
Since you wrapped me in this sensation. Oh yeah, I've been singing, I've been beaming, I've been living, I've been dreaming. Since you wrapped me in this sensation. Hey.
Hey everybody, welcome to California Bountiful. I'm your host, Tracy Sellers. First up today, we have a true California original. It's a fruit that has tradition, history, character, and oh yeah, it tastes pretty good too. Check it out. In Sonoma County, the name Crane is pretty much synonymous with the word melon. That's because Jennifer Crane's family has been farming melons in the same area of Sonoma County for more than a century now.
Well, the Crane family's been here in Sonoma County since 1852. I'm the sixth generation to be here on the same ranch, and my great-great-great-grandfather was named Richard Crane, and he came to California for the gold rush in 1849 and mined gold, and then after a couple years decided to see what else California had to offer, and made his way here to Sonoma County, and that's where we've been ever since.
And while Richard was enticed to set down roots in the Sonoma area because of the gold rush, it was actually his son Oliver who struck gold years later by inventing this. It's a melon known for growing incredibly well in the unique clay soil and climate of Sonoma and without much irrigation. But it was also too thin-skinned and way too fragile to ship too far of a distance. Thus, a local legend was born. It's of course known as the Crane melon.
And he wanted something that would be able to grow on our particular soil with the particular terroir we have here on the ranch. You know, I always, use the same example with wine grapes. You could plant Pinot Noir in Fresno and it's going to grow, but you're not going to get the flavor profile that you would get if it's grown in the Sonoma Coast or the Russian River Valley. And it's the same with the Crane melon.
Today, Jennifer, her father Rick, and mother Cindy continue to look after the small but popular farming operation that thrives on this unique melon. The melons are actually grown and harvested much the same way they have been for decades. They are vine ripened and then harvested by hand and gently thrown in the back of the family's pickup truck, and then taken less than a mile to be sold at the family farm headquarters, the Crane Melon Barn.
I think we're going to head back up to the melon barn.
Here, travelers stop in for a bite or two of the famous produce the family is known for. But inevitably, the Cranes always get the same question each harvest season.
So people often ask me, what is a Crane melon? They'll say, is it a honeydew? Is it a cantaloupe? And it's actually a cross between several heirloom varieties, most of which are unavailable in the market. There's in this melon is a Japanese melon, a white melon, a Persian melon, and an ambrosia melon.
Today, the family primarily grows two types of melons: the Crane melon, of course, and a yellow-fleshed watermelon. And with just 3 cranes left on the farm, plus a few seasonal workers, they've cut back to growing just under 30 acres of melons, which equals out to about 700 to 800 pounds of melons each season. And the harvest is a short one, only about 2 months long. But while the harvest is short, the line of fans of crane melons is long.
Thank you for shopping at the Crane Melon Bar.
Pleasure.
Enjoy.
Thank you, I will. Thank you for the melons here.
Enjoy. Bye.
Oh, thank you. They're luscious. They're delicious. They're wonderful.
I've been coming here over 20 years. They have them in other stores, but it's not the same as what they've got here. These are the real deal.
Seem to have a very loyal customer base.
I love the way they smell. They're just delightful.
I put them in my Vitamix at home, which is a really fancy blender, and a couple of scoops of an apple, a banana, some melons, and some protein powder, and blend it up and drink it, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, these are what I would think is just perfect. Oh, they'll be pretty well gone today. And then we just go do it again tomorrow. At least grapes, you pick them one time and they're gone, but melons, it's pretty much every day.
And while the seeds of change are all around them, this family is determined to keep this agricultural tradition going for future generations to savor.
You know, when the season is kind of winding down, you know, around Halloween, people, you know, you can just see everyone in kind of sad face. You know, they come in, I'm like, these are my last ones till, you know, until next year. But I always just tell them, you know, that's the nice thing too, because we've been here for so long and we're not going anywhere. So I say, always tell them, well, see you next year.
And the Crane Melon Barn is actually open in September and October when the melons are in season, and it's open in November and December for a holiday boutique. So if you're in the area, you'll have to check it out. And stay with us, because coming up next, we're visiting one of San Francisco's most iconic restaurants. That's straight ahead.
You hear Nationwide is on your side all the time, but why should you believe it? Well, Nationwide Insurance puts their members first because they don't have shareholders. Plus, you can add features like vanishing deductible to your policy, and then take $100 off your deductible for every year of safe driving until your deductible could vanish completely. Dale. Nationwide is on your side.
Farm Bureau members can save money on their auto insurance by switching to Nationwide Insurance. Talk to your agent or call 877-NATIONWIDE today.
My name is Patrick Mulvaney, and my wife Bobbin and I own Mulvaney's Building and Loan. It's a restaurant, banquet hall, and a catering facility here in Sacramento, California. Focus on local, seasonal food, so our menu changes every day, and it all depends on what the farmer brings in the front door. Every day brings a new excitement here because of the farmers that are around here. Everybody brings it in here to our restaurant so that we can put it on a fork, and our guests get to enjoy it.
Welcome back to California Bountiful. Well, if you're looking for a spot that offers a true taste of California cuisine, look no further than this next restaurant. Spend a morning on the farm with Annie Somerville, and with all of her excitement and enthusiasm, it's hard to believe she's been working with food for more than 30 years now.
These are so beautiful. Their beets are just, when I see them at the market, I think I have to, I mean, there are a lot of good beets out there, but I think gotta have these. That's a goodie with some nice little greens. Yeah, these are great. It can be what, it can be, the requirement, it does not need to be small. We're just doing like a nice beet salad, hopefully sliced and wedges.
Despite her almost fanatical love for farm food, Annie isn't a farmer, she's a chef and acclaimed author of several successful cookbooks. You see, Annie was green before the term was even coined. That's because she started Green's Restaurant back in 1971, and at the time it was one of the first vegetarian restaurants. But now it's one of the most well-known restaurants in the entire Bay Area. Thanks to Annie's work with farmers and getting high-quality, new and unique produce on the menu, the Green's Restaurant changed people's perceptions of produce.
And when we first opened, this was all very new and different. It was a very, how should I say, a very beautified slant on vegetarian cooking, which the world had not experienced before. It's a huge thing, and it really, for me, the inspiration for the menu is really, it's about the ingredients. It's about waiting for new ingredients to come into season. If we're making a great dish and, you know, there's nothing really great new happening, I just stay with that dish until something changes. Hello. So I just want to see how lunch is. How's everything?
Oh, it's fabulous.
Do you come regularly, or have you been before?
I do.
You're a regular.
And although the word vegetarian isn't on the menu, people don't seem to notice what's missing here. That's because Annie's concept was and is simple for getting people to try her dishes. Since we eat with our eyes first, if you put spectacular looking food on the plate, customers will and do try it. Their motto here is celebrate vegetables, and for that she relies on farmers across the state, like Blossom Bluff Farms in the Central Valley, Bellwether Farms in Sonoma County, and the farm she's been connected with the longest, Green Gulch Farm in the Bay Area.
I mean, Greens is kind of like, Greens and Green Gulch are such a kind of part of each other. I feel like we kind of are maybe brother and sister, or sister and sister in a way. I almost take it for granted sometimes that we have such a great relationship with them and kind of mutually supportive.
It's a luxury. It's a wonderful thing to get to do. And, you know, for me, it's shopping at the farmer's market and just feeling totally connected to this whole constellation of small growers and producers is really that's the force, the creative force, and it's also like the philosophical belief system of Greens. So this is the rainbow chard and red and green kale that we harvested at Green Gulch this morning. And here we've got the chard stems. We've got both golden and some magenta and some orange chard stems. I sauteed this with just a little bit of olive oil, added a tiny bit of stock, could be water just to keep the pan moist, a little salt and pepper.
Thanks to its extreme microclimate near the coast in Marin, the farm is able to supply Annie with fruits and vegetables almost year-round now, and is a main factor in creating a culinary legacy that is rare in this part of the world. The California Restaurant Association estimates that 90% of restaurants fail within the first 3 years of opening in the Bay Area, but not Greens. 31 years old now, and it's still packing them in at lunchtime. Their secret to success here? Simply put, the chef's passion for produce.
And also people just realize all this produce is, not only is it really delicious, it's really good for you. It's very beneficial to health. You can eat well, you can have a great dining experience, and it can be good for you. So this is sunburst squash, one of the beautiful summer squashes. Beautiful yellow, like the sun. These are scarlet turnips, which have they're delicious, they're very tender, they've got a wonderful sweet flavor.
And while eating just greens at a restaurant named Greens might have been taboo 30 years ago, eating veggies is vogue now thanks to people like Annie, who feel that they are merely a conduit for getting the hard work of farmers into hungry mouths one bite at a time.
I think that if our food, when a customer sits down, has a meal at Greens, if the meal that they partake in expresses like the beauty and the freshness and the bounty and just this incredible soil, if they feel that in the food, then I feel like we've been very successful.
So
So we've taken you to Green's restaurant. Now how about cooking with Green's? Well, here's one idea from our buddy Chef Justin in San Francisco.
Hi, I'm Justin Semino, the chef of Box Room, the newest addition to the Absinthe Group. We're a Cajun-style restaurant that's located in Hayes Valley, right on the corner of Gough and Grove. Today we're going to be making slow braised greens. First, we're going to start off in a preheated pot, a little oil. We're going to add some bacon. So when the bacon's right around this point, just slightly before it's crispy, fat has been rendered out, it's a good time to go ahead and add the onions. Just want to give this a little stir right when you add them in. Anytime I'm cooking down a vegetable really slow, I like to add a little salt first. It kind of helps leach out the liquids and break it down a little quicker so you don't have to wait around that much longer. Just go ahead and let these simmer for 5 to 10 minutes so they get nice and soft and translucent. Then after that, we're going to go ahead and add in the garlic. Okay, so when the onions are about this part, really nice and soft, a little caramelized, it's time to add garlic. Garlic only needs to cook for about, 4 to 5 minutes or so. Basically just take that raw spiciness right out of it. Okay, once the garlic is cooked, sweat it out for about 4 to 5 minutes, go ahead and add our greens. Unfortunately today at the market there was no collard greens available, so I'm substituting Swiss chard. At this point we just add all the greens in. Give this a nice little stir. Try to keep it all in the pot, that's a nice thing. We also like to add a little chicken stock. If you don't have any chicken stock on hand, water's okay. Basically all we're trying to do is get a little steam started to help wilt the greens down. So once that chicken stock or water gets to the bottom, you see a little steam start coming up. We go ahead and cover. If you don't have any regular pot covers, I'll just use a little parchment, it's fine. We're going to let these simmer. With chard, it's going to take a lot less time, maybe 15 to 20 minutes, but if you're using collard greens, they take about 30 to 45 minutes to cook down to the texture we like to have them in the South. Just check it every 5 to 10 minutes, give it a stir, then we'll enjoy the greens after that. Okay, now that we got the greens down to the texture that we would like, always go ahead and taste your stuff before you serve it to people, make sure it's the way you like it. Just as I assume, we need a little salt. Go ahead and clean that plate up a little bit, make it nice and presentable. In the South, the classic accoutrement for greens are a nice little pepper vinegar. Just get a nice douse of that right on top of the greens. Also leave the bottle on the side in case your friends want a little more. Okay, and that's it. This is our braised greens, and I hope to see you soon at Boxing Room.
Thanks, Justin. That recipe can be found at our website at californiabountiful.com. Just look under the recipes section. And coming up next, find out why feeling blue never tasted so good. That's straight ahead.
Hi, my name is John Ledbetter. I work at Boca Nova Restaurant in Jack London Square, Oakland, California. I love cooking with simple ingredients, seasonal ingredients. I like using the right things at the right times, and I like to do 10 ingredients or less, preferably always. What we do in this business is we highlight food, and you can't highlight food unless you're using the best of what you can get. And if you can't do that, you should either try to do it or you should go do something else.
In the nation, we can't make every annoying thing disappear, but we can eliminate deductibles. Nationwide insurance members who add Vanishing Deductible get $100 off for every year of safe driving. Join the nation where deductibles go.
Nationwide is on your side.
Farm Bureau members can save money on their auto insurance by switching to Nationwide Insurance. Talk to your agent or call 877-NATIONWIDE today.
If you're looking for one of the hottest and healthiest foods around, look no farther than this little berry that has big potential for farmers all across California. It could be called a grower's dream come true, a crop that is easy to grow, profitable, and fits in with what is already planted. Some might call it a fantasy, but at the Sorensen family farm near Fresno, they call it delightful, as in triple delight blueberries. Farming for 5 generations now, Mark Sorensen and his family mainly concentrated on raisins, but decided to branch out a few years ago and try their luck with an emerging crop in the state, blueberries.
Well, we've been with one crop for several generations, and my wife just kind of felt like it was a good idea to, diversify a little bit. And we started off small with just 5 acres and said if it doesn't work, we won't be out too much, and if it works, we'll learn something.
The Sorensens say that most people don't even believe they grow blueberries in California and think they come from back east. But actually, blueberries were first planted commercially in the San Joaquin Valley in the late 1990s and have grown significantly in recent years. Acreage has grown more than 900% over the last 5 years in the San Joaquin Valley alone. And now more than 1,500 acres are devoted to the little berry across California. It is a labor-intensive crop, with all the berries here being hand-picked and hand-inspected. But the quality of such work is all worth it in the end.
There's different stages of blueberries. They don't all ripen at one time, and we have to pick the plant about 5-6 times. And so one person will go down each side and just choose the right color. They all have a different flavor. They all have a different shape and size. And it's kind of like different wines. They all have a little bit different taste, and certain customers like certain ones. Yeah, here's a perfect example of the star variety blueberry. You can see the star insignia right here. Beautiful size, good texture and flavor.
Today, the Triple Delight Farm has more than 15 acres devoted to blueberries, a crop the whole family can be involved in, including Mark and Kim's daughters, all 3 of them. Any guesses on what the name of the farm means now?
I'm Elizabeth. I'm Olivia. And I'm Johanna. And we're Triple Delight.
Triple Delight. It was really important to us, and when we first started this new blueberry business, we really wanted it to reflect our 3 daughters. And we had asked family and friends, we had lots of input on what we should name our farm, and Triple Delight just kind of stuck.
Because blueberries are a relatively new crop, both farmers and consumers are discovering the big benefits of this little berry, including the amazing health perks. According to the USDA, blueberries have the highest levels of antioxidants among 40 fruits and vegetables studied, which is one reason the family decided to direct market their product so they could tout the benefits of blueberries themselves by traveling up and down the state, selling at more than 50 farmers markets across California.
Thanks, Mary. How are you?
I'm good, thank
These
you.
are Misty's. Last week I thought I saw you, there was a big group of people running, and I thought, oh, I know him, and it wasn't you. People are really interested in how you grow these things. What is it like to live on a farm, and how do you irrigate, and do you hand pick them? Because they just assume, you take a machine and go through the field, and every little berry is hand picked. And people are really, they want to know. They want to know how these berries are grown. And so we do spend a lot of time educating the customers. When they become more plentiful, it's a little bit less expensive to pick, and so we pass that on to you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Oh, they're delicious. What is not to like? It's a little taste treat in every single little blueberry.
This is the first market I've done with her this year, so yeah, it's fun. We usually don't get to all 3 be together, so it's really fun. And when we were younger, we kind of didn't get along very good, but as we get older, it gets more fun, so. Yeah, we're closer. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of funny to hear people talk because they think there really aren't any farmers anymore. Some people kind of feel like, it just shows up in the store. And yes, there are really farmers that live and do the work, and we get to meet, the customer one-on-one.
Meeting new customers, educating the urban public all about rural life, spending time together as a family, and growing something everybody can enjoy. Life is, yeah, you guessed it, indeed delightful for this family farming operation.
It's just something that we love to do, and my kids can see their kids doing it. So, they've already talked about that, how this is something that will be a business that will carry on. Triple Delight will be around for a long time.
Hi, I'm Emily Lucchetti, the Executive Pastry Chef at Farallon Restaurant in San Francisco. And today we're going to make a really simple but very, very delicious oat crisp cookie that I'm going to serve with blueberries and creme fraiche. So the first thing that we're going to do in a bowl is put some oats, and these are just your basic old-fashioned oats, brown sugar, a little bit of dark corn syrup, some granulated sugar, and some melted butter. And we're just going to stir this around until everything's evenly coated. Okay, then once it's all mixed together, you're just going to take about a tablespoon per cookie. And I like to use a traditional tablespoon, a measuring tablespoon like this, rather than a tablespoon that you'd eat with, just because it makes it easier to make them into nice round shapes. And you want to put them several inches apart on the baking sheet because they spread out quite a bit. So if you don't leave that extra room, they're all going to run into each other. So I only do probably 6 per tray. And then what you're going to want to do is put them in a 350-degree preheated oven for about 10 minutes, maybe 8 minutes, and you'll see they'll completely spread out and they get a nice golden brown color. So what we're going to do first is actually we'll put a cookie down into the bowl, and then we're going to put a little dollop of creme fraiche on. That's a little dollop. And then some blueberries. And you can use any summer fruit that you want. I especially like blueberries. I'll just put a few blueberries on. And then we're going to add another one off to the side, because when you plate something like this, you want everyone to be able to see what's going on and all the different layers that you have. So put a little bit more creme fraiche on and some more blueberries. And here you have a very delicious summertime dessert. So here are some delicious oat crisps with blueberries. And this looks so good, I'm going to have a bite. Now that's dessert.
And stay with us. There's more California Bountiful coming right up.
Like 2 weeks ago in San Francisco, it was very hot for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then it rained suddenly like on a Thursday. So we get a call from County Line and they say most of the things that we ordered we can't get, and it just gave me a real sense of like how they're really out there in the field, in the farm, and the weather kind of is dictating what it is they can and can't do. And it was pretty incredible.
Well, we've run out of time for today's show, but if you just haven't gotten enough California Bountiful, you can go to our website at californiabountiful.com. You can get the recipes you've seen today and more information about all the stories you've seen on the show as well. And if you get a second, go to our Facebook page. We've got some great behind-the-scenes photos of all of our travels across California. And we'll see you again next week on California Bountiful. Have a good one.
Since you wrapped me in this sensation.